Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SRL Cup Series Duels at Daytona. We're here in Daytona Beach, Florida, here for the Daytona Duels, and let's take a look at our grid here as we get it pulled up. So here is the starting grid as we speak. Riley Marabello is on pole over Blaze, or it says Andrew Cootie, but I believe it's Blaze McKinney. We'll go on to the next one here. Then on row number 2, it's Blaze McKinney and Malachi Drake. Going on further to row 3, it's Nicholas A. Martinez and Dominic Barvagawa. Michael D. Kenner and Sam Brochu follows them. Rodney Roberts and Gio Turpin follow into row 5, especially with Wyatt Roberts and Ron Escamilla in row 6. Row 7, it's Aaron Barnacle and Noah W. Larson in row 7. That's Aaron Schugel and John O'Lynch in row 8. Adam A. Boyles and Ethan A. DeWeldy in row number 9, followed by Keelan Belsha and Caleb McKinney. In row number 11, Johnny Johnson and Michael Wolf in row 11. Then moving on to row 12, it's Seth Richard and Corey Lyles in row 12. Connor Downey and Cole Denton in row 13. That's Elliot Drummond and Jason Brady in row 14. Greg Kalhoff and Cash Culp in row 15. Then moving on to row 16, it's Spencer Morris and Joseph Lewis. Row 17, it's Aiden McNeely and Connor Isabel. Number 72 machine, Ryan J. Rose and Jaden Porter on row number 18. Row 19, Jason Alexander and Shockey Tripley in row 19. And number 11, Tyler Coleman and Michael Corminis in the 025. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the number 70 in row 21 with Glenn Burton Jr. in 37. And Michael Deitch is the last one to qualify. He will be on row 22 in last. Well, it certainly is going to be a great one here from Talladega, as we get ready here to go from Daytona. The SRL Daytona Duels are ready to get started. Pace car lights are off, ready for 50 laps of action here for the field. And it's going to be a good one. Pace car going to make its drop down pit road as we get ready to go green here in Daytona with a pack full of cars ready to open the SRL season. Out here for duel number 1 as we get ready here. Geico restart zone, and we are green from Daytona. Lap 1 done and dusted here as the 87 of Blaze McKinney will lead the field here on lap number 1. The field gets shifty, but right now it's Blaze McKinney who leads the field over Michael D. Kenner in second. Then it's Wyatt Roberts, followed by Riley Marabello and Nicholas A. Martinez. He's going to go side by side with Aaron Schugel there for the second row. Move's going to be made here early on as we're only on lap 2. Double file. Rolling bottom as these guys beginning to race as our leader is blinking out, but field already separated into 2 distinct lines. As these guys work to try and take the lead here. This inside lane proving to be the most powerful lane here on the opening drive. As the rest of these guys trying to settle it out as our leader is still. I wonder what the admins are going to do about that. Wonder if that's going to get called. He seems to be the only one blinking, which would solidify the case that he is the one blinking and not me or anyone else. Well, it's Blaze McKinney leading over Michael D. Kenner, Wyatt Roberts, and Riley Marabello, and then Nicholas A. Martinez rounding out your top 5. He's in the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse in number 48 Chevy, down on the inside lane just behind Marabello. The EPI, Elite Performance Racing, Elite Performance Incorporated scheme there in the 4th position. RaceEPI.com there, the number 16. Not a lot of moving so far. These guys looking to get laps done here early on from Daytona. Lap 4 out of 50. Well, hold on. Moves being made there for the lead. Around the outside goes Kenner with help from the 42 of Wyatt Roberts. The 8 will drop down to the bottom lane. Roberts will be left up to dry. No help from him as he gets connected with the 4 just behind. Michael D. Kenner able to take the lead over Blaze McKinney. Riley Marabello now in 3rd, fighting for 3rd. As that 87 is still blinking out. Connection issues for the 87 does not deter as the 14's going to go in the wall, and what a save! They all saved it. We keep it green. What a save, as they're going to be 3 wide for 3 rows back. These guys now going to have to deal with 3 wide as the 18 now to the inside of the 06. LaFour, he's going to get turned. And to the outside wall goes the 06. Across the track goes the 14. And down the track he goes. And he is going to hit the inside wall right where the gap is. And the caution is out on lap 5. Well, caution is out on lap 5 going on to lap 6. And that was probably one of the larger wrecks I've seen at the opening of this season. Let's take a look back and see what happened. So the 14 got moved up out of the groove. But here's where the incident happens. So you'll see the 4 gets right to the back bumper of the 14, up slides the 06, and it looks like they have it all calm and collected for the time being. But up comes the 06 as the 4 goes down. They get collected into each other, and that turns the 14 smack dab into the middle of the field. And he will slide across the track. Greg Kalhoff in the back. Coming in, barreling into the wreck, but he will avoid all of it with no damage done to his race car. You can see there how hard he pulls right to the left to avoid the 14 spinning across the track. Yeah, and that was a really unexpected wreck. I didn't intend to see this one this early on. As he's playing blocker up front, gets hit into the wall. And he'll be shuffled back in the field. But he's going through 3 and 4, gets turned, and just around he goes as you can hear him start to roll back across the track there. And he will make contact with the inside wall. And it seems like his car is fine. One person I want to get an onboard shot of is the man who missed the wreck, Greg Kalhoff, because he had a great avoidance in this. Let's go back and take a look. So this is Greg Kalhoff. He sees the entire wreck happening, hits the brakes, and wow. Just threads the needle right through the wreck. Well, caution is out on lap 5, now on lap 7. As things have been shaken up here in Daytona, the yellow brought out, and a lot of these guys have come down pit road. Well, your leader, currently as it stands, Nicholas A. Martinez over Spencer Morris and Elliott Drummond over Aaron Barnacle and Seth in the 06. As everyone else will line up single file behind the pace car. Now, we should be going 1 to green this time by across the line. Let's see if the pace car lights turn off. And yes, they do. The pace car lights are off, meaning that we will go. We were going 1 to green this time by. We will restart at the end of this caution lap. So these guys under caution there for the first time here tonight here in Daytona, and things are getting interesting as a lot of these guys really have started to notice that it pays off to be a little less aggressive there in the start of the race, but what I fear is that a lot of these guys will get aggressive too early on, and that will end up in a not good situation for a lot of these guys who tend on running and hopefully getting the win here from the duels. And unfortunate to have a caution this early, but then again, almost a fifth of the way through this race, in a couple laps' time, a restart on lap 9 out of 50. And we'll see what happens in terms of these guys' aggression levels. As of right now, they were really aggressive in the mid to back pack, and it seemed like everyone wanted to go. And unfortunately, when everyone wants to go this early on, it usually doesn't play well for any of the people involved if someone makes a mistake. So a lot of these guys getting ready to take the green flag for the first restart here from Daytona. It's the SRL Cup Series Duels from Daytona. You're joining us here on FTN. And I'll tell you what. Right now, it certainly has been interesting. And we're getting ready to go green here again. It's the pace car going to make us dive down on pit road. Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
And we are green again from Daytona as they're going to touch before we even go green. Aggression levels on the rise as we now enter lap 10 out of 50, officially a fifth of the way through the duels. The 87 of Blaze McKinney goes back to the lead of the Wyatt Roberts, Spencer Morris, and Keelan Belsha in the 22. Nicholas Martinez has been on a shuffle after starting on the front row for that restart. Got a bit shuffled back behind. It was squirrely there in the middle of the pack, but now we have two separate packs forming with these first group of cars kind of sort of being the first one as they're starting to pull away. The rest of the guys having to follow behind in a slightly less broken up pack. As then they were filed behind. Lap 11 out of 50. And these guys are just at the beginning stages of this one from Daytona, but aggression levels continue to be on the rise, as now I think they've started to fall back down. Single file running. These guys want to get those laps in. They kind of log the laps because, 50 laps is shorter than maybe some hostage, but these guys want to get these laps done. And there you can see the entire field single file, not a second row in sight. as Blaze McKinney is going to lead the field through 3 and 4 on lap 11 out of 50. It's been a quite calm race up to this point. That caution earlier being the only really extremely exciting point, or one of mention. As the rest of these guys are going to be single file minus the 18 on the outside. Single file action here from Daytona as they try and log the laps. This top 3 really has extended a gap over the rest of the field. But now they're trying to get a second line working, as funny enough, there is a true second pack with about 4 or 5 cars behind the original lead pack. As they are, I'm assuming, trying to stay out of trouble early on. And that would be the smartest thing to do. You know, it's the duels, it's lap 13 out of 50, and you kind of have to start wondering there, what should I do if I want to preserve my race car to make it to the end of this, considering it's only lap 13. But this front group of 3 has decided that that call of action is to try and lead and pull away from the pack, but that's not happening. Help to the 27 for the 48 of Nicholas A. Martinez. Spencer Morris catches up. And now they make it back to the original pack. So the 87, 16, and 42, Blaze McKinney, Riley Marabello, and Wyatt Roberts have all started to fall back behind. One up way out of the groove as he will go up by the outside wall and 1 and 2. Very interesting to see these guys be this cautious early on, especially after an early caution on lap 5. It's been about 10 laps since then, and they've been completely green. Now, I did say they were running single file to log the laps, and I don't know how much of that is the case anymore, as now this second line has started to form almost out of thin air. 1 or 2 people went up to the top. And now they've almost got the same number of cars both on the top and the bottom. However, that outside lane just seems to fall back a lot more than I guess it should, because these guys unable to try and make a real dent here in the lead. And that is unfortunate. You know, these guys have been trying to push and get back to the lead, but as of right now, unable to do so. The 15 that leads that outside lane. Timing and scoring says that's the 8 of Michael D. Kenner, but he has been unable to get back up to the lead after his crash, still struggling on that outside line, but helped from behind. But unable to catch the lead pack, as they're about the 5th or 6th car in line when it comes relatively to the bottom. Now that top lane started to disintegrate again, as it was about just 3 cars up there on the top. And they will have to try and find a way to slot back in line if they want to have a chance of saving fuel. However, if we did pit on lap 5, and this is 100% tank, I believe these guys can make it on 45, especially if they save. So if it does go green, they won't have to pit. But that is also interesting, taking a look at the fuel strategy of this one, depending on how much fuel is in the cars themselves, is going to be the key factor in what really brings these guys to the end of this race. Well, it's lap 17 out of 50, and these guys have been pretty steady going thus far. Been a pretty relaxed race minus the caution on lap 5. And these guys have all decided that now is the time to start logging the laps and getting them out of the way. As in just a few moments and just a few laps, we will come up on halfway. Now, aggression levels have dropped off ever since the lap 5 incident that brought out the caution for the first time here tonight. And I'll be the one to say I think that early caution preserved some of the racing for the latter of this race. You know, they got some of the racing and some of the aggression out early on, and they're going to save that for the rest of the race. And they're going to save it for when it counts in the end. That's a really smart thing to do for a lot of these guys. And so a lot of these guys are going to also wonder, if we do have to pit, when would be the best time to come down as a group? Because a lot of these guys are going to wonder, when is the prime time to pit if we need to? People would be on different pit strategies to try and hop each other through pit road. And it's all really just down to what the group finds out a time to come down pit road and when. Because a lot of these guys probably don't. I would imagine that they don't have enough to make it, but I am unsure of that. I am not sure. Well, lap 19 out of 50, and as they continue to log the laps, let's go to an FTN Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, turn up the TV, or turn up the volume on your TV, monitor, headphones, or whatever you're watching this broadcast on, as we get ready to go to an FTN Crank It Up. Coming back from the FTN Crank It Up, it's lap 24 out of 50. And these guys really have stayed single file. They haven't done anything. They've now talked to each other knowing that they have to get to the end of this one. Second lane has now reformed, and Michael D. Kerner is your leader over Alan McNeely, Blaze McKinney, Elliott Drummond, and Riley Marabello. As this outside line really hasn't reformed as a total, but it's going strong with these 4 cars up front. And that's the one thing that needs to be known, is these guys are still up front. Now that inside line starting to fall back as that outside line retakes possession now. Blaze McKinney over Elliott Drummond and Rodney Roberts with Aaron Schugel. That's your top 4. Followed by the Michael D. Kerner. He was our leader just about a lap and a half ago, and now he will fall back. He'll fall back to 5th place with Nicholas A. Martinez and Aiden McNeely, Riley Marabello, and Wyatt Roberts there. And number 42. Keelan Bishop is the one to round out the top 10. As that outside lane has about 3 cars as they try and get something done. They look to charge to the lead here without all that help that the inside line has. I don't think they have enough to try and get up to the lead. Well, it's a 2-car tandem right now with Nicholas A. Martinez and Marabello on the outside as they try and make a charge for the lead. If Blaze McKinney leads the next 5 to 7 laps, I believe he will walk out of this race no matter what, even if we have an overtime, the person who has led the most laps, because he has led more than half. Because there was a few laps that he wasn't in the lead. So if he leads from now till lap 34, I think he'll get that stat. That 2-car tandem really starting to work on that outside lane with help from the 42. Martinez able to move up to that 3rd row with the 4 on the inside. Marabello helping that 48 machine with the 42 just behind him. And that 3-car strong outside lane trying to hold on and get to the lead. As they still look as a threat to that inside lane. Nothing much has happened as a breakaway from the rest of the pack behind. That's about a fall off of 2.5 seconds to Spencer Morris and Ryan J. Rose. And then in company, Johnny Johnson has fallen back with Greg Calhoff and Tyler Coleman. This outside line proving to be stronger than ever as Martinez tries to battle it out for the lead. He leads by a nose with help from Marabello. Doesn't look like it's going to come as McKinney is able to hold him off on that inside lane, but with help, now they surpass it. Martinez with help from the 16 of Riley Marabello are going to take the lead. This pack continues to thin out and thin out more, as these guys were once a full pack, single file. We've split up into 2 separate lines, one consisting of 3 cars, the other consisting of about 7. Well, we have a comer down pit road, that's the 44, as he will make his green flag pit stop. Lap 29, now 30 out of 50. 21 laps to go here from Daytona. Martinez leads from Marabello, Roberts, and... Did I read that correct? Yeah. Martinez leads over Marabello and leads over Roberts and Roberts. Well, to avoid confusion, that's Wyatt Roberts in the 42. And the car behind him, that's Rodney Roberts in the 4. So just to avoid confusion there, as the 48 comes down to pit road. Here comes the lead pack. Green flag pit stops are underway. They're going to be 3 wide entering pit road. The 42 going to slide. Does he speed? They are still 3 wide down pit road. Trouble as the 42 has to stop. He can't get to his pit stall. Tags the 4. And a cluster on pit road. Greg Kelhoff will assume the lead. Martinez now rolling off of pit road as the rest of the field drops back a few spots. Oh, the spinner on pit road. It's the 14. Kenner spins. Kenner has spun down pit road. So let's see what happened here. Exiting his pit stall and gives it a little too much gas, and he slides around. If this race doesn't have another caution, that is horrible qualifying position for Michael D. Kenner. We'll back live and back up to the lead. Greg Kalhoff still leads with Johnny Johnson in tow with a 33-second gap over Aaron Schugel. And with that, Nicholas A. Martinez has dropped all the way back to 4th. As in comes Greg Kalhoff. With help from Johnny Johnson, gives him a slight tap as they're going to come down pit road. Let's see if we can catch Martinez. They're all the way down the backstretch. So it depends on what these guys are going to do here. Kalhoff still down pit road. Martinez and this group coming out of 4. So Greg isn't rolling by now. Yes, he is, but I think it might be over as Martinez now is crossing the start-finish line. And there is Greg Kalhoff. He will fall like a rock through the field. Your leader, Aaron Schugel, and the Nicholas Martinez, Rodney Roberts, and Riley Marabella. As you guys all continue to slot in line, logging the laps. And right now on lap 33 out of 50, closing in on around 15 to go. And ever since the lap 5 caution, these guys have stayed side by side the entire time. It's going to be Aaron Schugel over Martinez, Rodney Robertson, Riley Marabella with Elliott Drummond there in the 5th position, 5th in line on this inside lane that has started to try, and they pit before Kalhoff and a lot of other people, and they came out with the net lead. Aaron Schugel is ahead of this pack. That's the 27 ahead. The 27 of Spencer Morris is the last car on the lead lap, literally being pushed by the leader as to not go a lap down. This guy is going to remain single file from here on out, as there's no chance these guys go double file as of yet. This 7-car breakaway for the lead pack has been strong, and it's going to be the same guys in the same positions. Aaron Schugel leads over Martinez, Rodney Robertson, Riley Marabella. No switching or any moving has happened in this pack. Maybe a couple of blinks here or there, but nothing too colossal. As for these guys, they're playing it smart, and they've only gone a lap. They've only gone single file for the rest of this time, and they haven't moved at all. The last time a second lane had been formed was, I believe, about lap 22. 24, just after a crank it up had ended. Number 91 of Aaron Schugel peaking for temperature to cool down that motor as Martinez is going to wiggle. But it won't amount to anything as we cross the threshold of 15 laps to go. Lap 37 out of 50, and these men have not moved at all. They've stayed single file, as is the rest of the field. Let's check back. Here's 7th place, led by Keelan Belshaw over Blaze McKinney and Johnny Johnson. It's a 2-car pack, and then there's Johnny Johnson with Greg Kalhoff. Aiden McNeely drives almost all by himself, as Tyler Coleman right behind him. Michael D. Kenner won to drive by himself with Jason Alexander. In here with this gaggle of about 3 cars, as that's Connor Downey and Aaron Barnacle. Aaron Barnacle is the last man actually in a sort of pack of his own, and Wyatt Roberts is actually the first car a lap down. Spencer Morris is the last car on the lead lap. So if Morris gets shuffled out and he falls behind Wyatt Roberts and isn't able to stay in the draft, if there is a caution, he's not getting the lucky dog. So right now the 27 playing blocker up front, as he will lead this lane. A lap car is technically the leader of this line. The true real leader of the race is the 91 of Aaron Schugel, as he pushes the 27 right now. So this is a stat line for the books. Spencer Morris leads here at Daytona, not by number of positions, but he leads a line, which is effectively the first pack. So if it was scored, if he was in the pack by position, he would be the leader. Not been a super fantastic day for the 27, but he still stayed on the lead lap by being in this position. Able to stay up here in the field with a mix of these about 4 or 5 cars or so. 2 of the cars in this pack are lap cars. Well, these guys got to come off of turn 4 and still stay single file. As we cross the line, it will be 10 laps to go in the duel. Now space being given to the 27 as they're going to slot back and bunch up back together again. Martinez peeking to the outside, and I assume to get temperature, as these guys are going to remain single file. Not much going on elsewhere, but Blaze McKinney and Greg Kalhoff and their group has now caught up to the back of the 18. So that's going to be, I believe that's Adam Boyle over Blaze McKinney, Keelan Belshaw, Johnny Johnson, and Greg Kalhoff. That's this mini pack right here. After that, it's Aiden McNeely, who is almost all by his lonesome, but has Tyler Coleman for help right behind. A bit of damage on that right front, as it's the fender is popping out. That is Jason Alexander in a group of these 4, and that is Jason Alexander, Connor Downey, Michael D. Kenner has somehow managed to get with a group, and it's Aaron Barnacle. And as always, once again, Spencer Morris still leads this front pack, and Wyatt Roberts tails this lead pack. First car a lap down. Well, soon to be closing in on 5 laps to go here in the duel, and things haven't heated up as I thought they would have by now. Even though these front pack of cars pretty much have the wins sealed up in the bag, they're not going to move at all. They're going to stay single file, I would imagine, until the end of the race. They haven't moved at all. For the past, since the green flag pit stops, they haven't left their line. So I doubt them jumping out of line is going to change anything anytime soon. But these lead pack guys have been just so strong to be able to stay out front for so long, not really make any mistakes. It truly is an impressive feat to witness when a super speedway race goes green, and it goes well. Reminder of the fact that we have only had a caution one time this race prior to the initial start. We had one caution on lap 5 for an incident that pertained to the 14. So things have been cooling down quite a bit. Well, things slowly getting in the mix-up here in Daytona. As we head to the last few laps of this duel, we're going to take a minute to say thank you to the people who make FTN broadcasts possible.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Well, back racing here in Daytona as we get ready to come to nearly 2 laps to go here in duel number 1. It's the SRL Duels at Daytona, lap 48 out of 50. And this pack has stayed single file, and I was hoping some excitement is going to come out of these guys in the last couple laps, as all of this race is for is qualifying position. We're going to come out of turn number 4 with almost a second lane being formed as we come to 2 laps to go. This field knows the prime position they would be in if they could get this win under their belts. Aaron Shooey, I believe, would be the pole sitter for the SRL 500. It's Shooey, followed by Martinez, Marabello, Drummond, and Ryan J. Rose is out of 4. We take the white flag. As up through the field goes Drummond. He decides to take the run, and he's going to go all the way from the back of this first pack and now be fighting for the lead. Drummond's going to go side by side with Shugel, but has 0 help, and he will start to fall back. What do these top 3 do? Your top 3, 91, 48, and 16 on your screen. Does he go for the move, or does he stay in line? Through 3 and 4. For duel number 2, Shugel goes up to block. The 48's going to make a move around the outside with help from Drummond in the 44. They're going to beat and bang to the line. The 44 gets sideways. He's going to put it 3. And the 48's going to go spinning across the track. And Aaron Shugel is going to win duel number 1. Wow. These guys saved up all the excitement for last. Aaron Shugel is going to come home with a duel win here in the SRL Duels at Daytona. The number 91 goes to the front stretch to burn it down. Racing action ready to get underway for a second time as we get ready for what is going to be duel number 2. As things get started, we're going to get ready to go racing again here in Daytona for another 50 laps in duel number 2. So the duel number 2 lineup is the field is led by Andrew Cootie, then followed by Malachi Drake, Dominic Barbagallo, Sam Brochu, Gio Turpin, Juan Escamilla, Noah W. Larson, John O'Lynch, Ethan DeWeldy, Caleb McKinney, Michael Wolf, Corey Lyles, Cole Denton, Jason Brady, Cash Culp, Joseph Lewis, Connor Isabel, and is tailed by Michael Cormenis in the 025. Things are going to heat up for some Duel 2 action here from Daytona. Another 50 laps left to run. As usually the saying is, we have one clean duel where with a caution early that makes the rest of the duel go green. And we have the aggressive duel where everyone decides to get racing from lap 1. We have a little more than just one caution. Pace car going to make its final trip around 3 and 4 for the pace lap. Going to come out of 4 and then quickly jump down pit road as Duel 2 is about to be underway. Andrew Cootie and Malachi Drake going to lead the field to green as the pace car pulls off on pit road to the Geico restart zone, and we are green from Daytona for the start of Duel 2. Lap 1 so far calm and collected as that outside lane has prevailed with Malachi Drake, and I believe that's Sam Brochu now. Yes, it is, fighting for the lead. Andrew Cootie will fall back with Barbagallo now as they will be second and third on the inside lane. Cootie pushing the 08 of Drake as this field has so far stayed side by side the entire time and nothing else has changed. Malachi Drake versus Sam Brochu. Gave it to Drake at the line. Brochu still in second, leads that outside lane. And while people seem completely double file and a little bit squirrely, no action has started yet. No one's made an overtly dumb move to cause a caution this early on. In nearly about a lap's time, we'll come up to the point in the last duel where we had a caution come out. And then the duel went green for the rest of the way. Will we see that here the case in Duel 2? Malachi Drake over Andrew Cootie, Dominic Barbagallo, and Gio Turpin rounds out your top four with Noah W. Larson in fifth. And this field has gone back to single file racing once again. Malachi Drake over Andrew Cootie and Dominic Barbagallo as there's mixing in the middle of the pack, but that outside lane looks strong now as people getting it squirrely. Will we make it to lap 5? Yes, we will. So the field makes it to lap 5. And no caution as of yet. As it hasn't come early, I imagine we will be seeing a caution in about 10 laps or so. It's Malachi Drake over Andrew Cootie, Dominic Barbagallo, Gio Turpin, and Noah W. Larson. That's your top 5, all on the inside right now. continue back with the action after the short technical intermission. Well, this top 5 certainly has changed a bunch, so let's take a look and see our top 5 after 16 to 50 laps. It's Corey Lyles, reporter, and Andrew Goody with Duel and Turpin. That is your top 5. Things continue to heat up here in Duel 2 on lap 16 out of 50 as the entire field is side by side. 2 laps and 2 lanes have formed, and it's been quite the exciting duel as of yet, as the stack up on the top is going to slow everything down, as the 88 of Jaden Porter had brought about the stop of that top lane. And now it looks like he's going to be split 3 wide as he falls right back in that second groove, in the second line. Going to be Corey Lyles so far over Andrew Cootie and Gio Turpin, and Jaden Porter and Juan Escamilla with Ethan DeWeldy following in tow. I'll tell you what, a lot of these guys really have started to show some promise here in this series. And so far as of yet, if this duel is anything, these guys sure have changed, and these guys have brought up a great deal of racing in both of these duels combined. $18 out of 50 as the laps continue to wind down. Only almost about halfway through here from Daytona, and that outside lane has started to fall back and become non-existent once again. Well, Corey Lyles over Andrew Cootie, Gio Turpin in the mix as well. Then it's Juan Escamilla, Dominic Barbagallo, Ethan A. DeWeldy, Malachi Drake, who has blinked out, but is back, as now the second lane wants to form back up again. Things are getting heated here, especially with, we didn't see this double file action this in the middle stage of the duel. In duel number 1, they were all single file and more so relaxed. These guys have been aggressive here with these double file lines, but no mistakes have been made. Ergo, no big one has happened. But it's not if the big one will strike at Daytona, it's when the big one will strike. Usually a certainty in almost any superspeedway race, and it's no different here from the great center of racing. Riding on board with Gio Turpin here. He currently sits 4th in line at the number 84 machine. And he's had a pretty good run up to this point, been in the lead for a while, and now has slotted back to 4th and 5th with that outside line, starting to make a move as they are going to be side by side almost for the lead. These guys have been side by side this whole time, and some jumps being made. A block of the 15 goes up high, blocks the 41, as that could have been dangerous. Close call on the blocking. It's DeWeldy over Larson, Michael Wolf, Gio Turpin, and Cole Denton in 5th. Corey Lyles in 6th. Connor Isabel in 7th. Andrew Cootie in 8th. Jaden Porter in 9th. And Dominic Barbagallo in 10th. Lap 22 here in the duels, and let's take a moment to really appreciate the people who make FTN broadcasts possible.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Racing action back live on FTN in duel number 2 as we're on lap 26 out of 50. Lead changes galore have been made as now let's take a look at your top 5. It's Dominic Barbagallo over Lynch, Isabel Porter, and Rochu. So that top 5 has changed a considerable amount since the last time we were live. Dominic Barbagallo continues to lead the field at just past the halfway marker, but this duel has been something interesting. They've gone for over halfway through the duel with green flag. They have not had a caution, as that was almost a wreck between Barbagallo and the number 88. Able to save it in the end as we got a couple of comers down pit road. That's Duel in the 15. So Duel on pit road, Cootie on pit road, and the 410 on pit road as well. Oh, as Duel slides past and slides through his pit stall. So Duel slides through his pit stall. And here's a look at the leaders. Barbagallo leads that inside lane with Gio Turpin leading that outside lane in number 40 in the 84. I was about to say 48 as Jimmy Johnson. The 48 is Martinez, and he reached in duel number 1. Tarpley to the outside of Turpin as he now jumps up to lead that outside lane with help from behind for the number 45. That's Jason Brady. Gio Turpin being pushed by the 17 of Barbagallo there, as he will move up throughout the field. This line now swarming back to going single file as green flag pit stops are about to be underway, and that's a risky self-clear for the 25. Made it work, but let's see who comes down pit road this time by. Here comes Barbagallo. It's the whole field! The entire field comes down pit road as in comes the 25 There's no way he wasn't speeding. As here comes the masses down pit road. Barbagallo going to lead the charge on pit road. As anywhere you look, there's cars on pit road. Slow pit stop for Barbagallo's let out late. Be passed by the 25 Michael Cormenes, the 025 Michael Cormenes, and the 25 of Sam Brochu. So Barbagallo is going to slide back through the field. And here comes the entire rest of the pack. Now, let's not discredit that it was a phenomenal pit stop for the 25 crew. But the problem is that they are so far ahead, they're going to get swarmed up when this field gets together. But Andrew Cooney, Noah Larson, and Ethan Doherty have all slid up forward and passed this pack that came down as the entire field. And now this pack is broken up. So what was a double file, 2-lane pack has slid now to being a broken up, single-lane, single-file pack. Malachi Drake leads. Sam Brochu and them are going to come down pit road. Sam Brochu actually ahead of Michael Cormenes. He will be passed around the outside as Barb and Cormenes have a run. Will they stay in line behind Duel or try and make a move? Duel's blinking right now, so this might be a prime opportunity for the 17 and the 25 to try and make a move. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're going to sit back in line as this single file pack is formed up once again. Well, I would have thought that after these guys being double file for so long, we might come out pit road and go double file, but now's the time of the race where they want to log laps instead of race. Well, your leaderboard as it stands according to the current running order. It's Noah W. Larson ahead of Andrew Cooney, Ethan Doherty, Michael Cormenes, Barbagallo rounds out the top 5, Sam Brochu, Connor Isabel, Jono Lynch, Cash Culp, and Gio Turpin to round out the top 10. As Dominic Barbagallo, the number 17 machine, he rides around in 5th place. Had a pretty good pit stop, but not good enough to retake the lead over Larson, Cooney, and Doherty. Now, they're all Makoni Setup Shop teammates, so now it's a Makoni Setup Shop 1, 2, 3 for the number 4, 10, 6, and 15. As they're all going to help each other out here in the top 3, not trying to let anyone by for the remainder of this race. It would be so odd to have a completely green duel. As they go down the back straightaway, it's Noah Larson over Andrew Cooney, Ethan Doherty, Michael Cormenes, and Dominic Barbagallo leads that top 5. As they're all going to stay single file for the time being, managing around the racetrack. Here's a look on board of our leader, Noah W. Larson of the 410 machine, Makoni Setup Shop teammates to the next top 3. Well, I'm surprised that right now it's been a bit of a mix between these guys up here to the head of the field. As right now, they're going to be squirming and moving around. but still our leader, Noah W. Larson. Over Andrew Cootie, Ethan Dueldy. But here comes the second lane. This second lane on the outside has started to break away as Barbagallo is going to lead the charge on the outside. Going to play blocker, slide back down. And I believe it's going to be the 25 of Brochu to lead that outside lane. It's now up to the outside. Goes to Weldy. He ditches his teammates in favor of playing blocker. He's going to block that outside lane, which has more cars, therefore more help than the inside lane. Andrew Cootie now goes up to block. Does the 410? Yes, he does. He's clear. As Cootie goes back down to the bottom, he's going to try and take the lead. Exciting racing here with about 15 laps to go here in duel number 2. As to the inside goes the 410 to Weldy, going to slide up the track as he's going to play blocker on that outside lane once again. Larson over Cootie and DeWeldy. Then it's Cormenis and Barbagallo with the 98 on the outside. That's Sam Brochu. So Cootie's teammates at CCH Motorsports have been able to lead this one out right, nearly from the jump of the race without a couple of leaders being sprinkled in. But so far since green flag pit stops, they have not looked back at all. They've only been looking forward as now DeWeldy blinking tries to take the lead on the inside. Not much help, but here comes the 88. He's going to get a shot from the 44 as they get squirrely and almost go around. Well, in the end, that could have been bad, but now I fear this top lane forming at that Daytona. Once this top lane gets rolling, it is really hard to stop them once they get a good push. DeWaldy on that inside lane with help from Jaden Porter in the 88. As now, DeWaldy starts blinking. I thought Porter was the only one on that inside lane. Barbagallo has slotted back all the way to the end of this lead pack. He will drop down to 11th. So Cootie's going to lead the field as he tries to go down to the bottom side lane, plays block, and now goes right back to the top. Lap 38 out of 50. These guys have been racing hard and racing aggressive for this. Oh, as DeWeldy's hood and front bumper fly off. And he gets them back. But that means he will slide back now and have to go up to that top side lane. Barbagallo's still stuck on the bottom. This inside lane has fallen apart and is going nowhere. Lap 39 out of 50. Oh, crash at the back of the front pack. That will bring the caution out for the first time tonight in duel number 2.
Up on your radio just a few minutes ago. 10-4.
So that was Cash Culp involved in that wreck. He will bring out the yellow. No damage, it looks like, even though he got turned. Let's take a look back at that replay and see what happened. So here's the accident that's going to happen. There's a checkup on the top, and Cash Culp goes right into the back of the 15. Going to slot to the middle. Cormenis goes to the outside, and it looks like they just touch. Cash Culp going to get turned and basically slid across the track. And if there's anyone who's a loser in this situation, it was Michael Cormenis, as you can see the front right damage. let's take a look from on board the 025 and see what kind of perspective we can see from this one. Oh, Mikey. Oh, and I think Cormetis' right front might be broken in that as well. I didn't even notice that. Let's see if we can't get a better look. I don't think we'll be able to. There you can see their damage to the right hood flap. Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it. The wheel kicking around. What an unfortunate way to bring out the caution for number 25. Well, caution is out for the first time this duel on lap 39. As we're currently on lap 41, Michael Cormetis now. If you're wondering where he is, we'll slide back to the field. He's currently 17th. Well, I thought we were going to have a duel that would go all the way green. I was wrong. This duel will not go all the way green. So, Sam Brochu is being scored as the leader. And there he is. So Sam Brochu is being scored as the leader over Andrew Cody, Malachi Drake, and John Lynch at the time of caution. So that will change things up quite a bit as this field will now get ready to line up double file and get ready to go green for what is hopefully the last restart of duel number 2. Andrew Cootie leading that inside lane over Sam Brochu, who is the leader and chose the top. Malachi Drake just there in third, right behind Andrew Cootie. And that's John Lynch on the top side lane to the right side of Malachi Drake. Well, this field certainly was interesting. A lot of stuff to happen throughout this race. And they were racing really hard earlier. You know, they were given a lot of respect and some give and take, but a lot of hard racing regardless. And that's the first time it boiled over. Incident between the 025 of Michael Cormetis and Cashcolt in turns 1 and 2 had brought out the yellow. Lap 42 out of 50, and you can hear them downshifting to get ready for the restart. Sam Brochu going to lead the field on the outside lane as the pace car is going to make its drop down pit road. Field getting set to go green. Pace car makes its drop. Brochu, Cootie to lead them to the restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
Green again here from Daytona. Oh, trouble! Down the back straightaway. That's the big one. The field is involved. We didn't make it a lap after the restart, and nearly everybody in the field has gone into calamity. I can't even pinpoint who that is on right now. The caution is back out again on 43 out of 50, and that was an absolutely wild wreck. Let's go take a look and see if we can figure out what happened. So here's the restart. Let's take a look at the field. Let's take a look at the field from above. Cootie goes to the outside. Brochu goes to block. Goes back down low. Splits the field through. Oh, Cootie comes down the track. When I say that I didn't have someone to blame it on, I have someone to blame it on. Andrew Cootie, with not the best timed block, is going to be the cause of that one. Let's take a look at it again. Yeah, wow. So here's from our chopper cam. And let's see what he does here. So it's already an egregious attempt to take the lead. Getting split 3, spotter should stay inside, and tries to chop the field. Oh, and what a save from Barbagallo. But I said I didn't have anyone to blame it on originally, and I have someone to blame it on. Man. Let's take a look on board Barbagallo to see how he made it through that wreck, because that was, what an avoidance that was. So Barb shifts. Wow. Absolutely tossed around, but he was able to make it through. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Actually, Barb is a great way to visualize and see who this wreck is really on. Let's go back and look in slow-mo the entire time and see if we can't get a better view. So here's the egregious attempt by Cootie. Let's go up through the field. And a great view from Malachi Drake. As what an avoidance from him. Wow. And then McKinney gets tagged and will go around. Let's see what his view was like throughout this wreck. Well, Gio Turpin is sitting here on the inside lane. And and just down he goes. And I do wonder, is it really on Cootie? Well, Jaden Porter is absolutely killed in this wreck, but I believe he got a better view of this. So there's Cootie's attempt to take the lead. An egregious block already by the 25, Brochu. Oh, and maybe... No, I still think that's... Ugh, that's a tough call. That is a tough call. I really don't know who that wreck is on, but more or less the 90 and Andrew Cootie were both involved. Well, caution is out again. Let's go back live and see what's happening here in the rest of the field. Malachi Drake, our leader, as we get ready to go green. Pace car going to file down pit road, and it's Malachi Drake and Connor Isabel to lead the field to green for the third restart here in duel number 2. I believe they may have been able to make it out of turn 4. And we will go 3 to go. Connor Isabel, your leader, over Corey Lyles, Jason Bradley, and Malachi Drake. Some scrapes in the wall. Oh, they're going to wreck Andrew Cody up and over the 90.
It's all on you, man. It's all on you. You make the call here.
And another wreck involving the 6 car. Well, caution is going to come out again. Let's see who that was on. So Cootie is going to absolutely run down Cormenes to the apron here. This is before it all started. Cootie flipped in 1 and 2. So Barb is in the middle 3. Oh my God, Cormenes is going down below the yellow line. Oh, and Cash Club actually is going to be the one to come up the track and tack. Oh, but he saved it. Oh, and no, he didn't. Cootie overcorrects. With help from Cash Club, he'll go back up the track and get absolutely Newmaned by the 90. Wow. Wow. And Andrew Cootie involved in another wreck. And that one's just hard to look at because that one is just pure overcorrect. You can see her aggressively trying to make his way to the front. Going up through the middle. Yeah, and he'll get tagged. Oh, and he had it gets saved, and around it goes, bam, into the wall and into the air goes Cootie. And so he will be swung back around. So Cootie's been involved in a lot of wrecks tonight. And is no stranger to driving aggressively, but that I think might be just a little bit over the top. So the caution is out for what hopefully is the final time. And Connor Isabel is going to be the leader. As the field is about ready to cross the start-finish line, we should get set with one to go as the choose cone is taking place. Well, lap 51 out of 53, and the field has now filed up double file once again. As we head down the back straightaway, it's going to be a completely different front row than it was the last restart, as that involved Andrew Cootie and the like just behind. This new front row is Corey Lyles and Connor Isabel, with Jason Brady, Malachi Drake, and Caleb McKinney in that 5th position. Well, hopefully this is the last restart. They're able to get it under control. And the pace car going to round off of turn number 4. The pace car going to make its dive down pit road as we get ready to go green. Leader going to come up to the restart zone, and Connor Isabel leads the field to green. Will they make it clean off turn 4 for the final time? No, they're going to wreck just before the line. The caution's going to come out as the field implodes. Did they make it to the white before the caution was thrown, or is that going to be it? timing and scoring says the final lap. So that might have been the point of no return. And the next flag would have been the flag to end the race. Waiting on unofficial results. ATIVO says we're on the final lap, and that's our timing and scoring. As we're watching the slow roll, so maybe this isn't it. It almost looks like we're watching it slow-mo, but here comes the pace car. No, that will be the checkered flag. The race is over. And Corey Lyles wins duel number 2 under caution. Well, that's going to bring an end to Duel 2. Interviews and more coming up next on FTN, so don't go anywhere. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, our two winners for our two duels did not stay for an interview. They went to go home in the haulers and prepare for next week, the SRL 500, covered again by FTN. Well, it's been a fantastic night here, folks, and it's been a great one to watch here from the broadcast booth here in Daytona International Speedway. If you have any other questions, please ask David Kreutz over at FTN. It's been a pleasure, and once, as always, it's been a great deal of racing here from Daytona, the World Center of Racing, here up in the broadcast booth. Well, any questions, comments, or concerns, I have been your host, Alexander Valdez, producer and commentator here on FTN, and it's great to be back here working with David and the whole Fireball Talks NASCAR group. We have a great group of guys here working, and it has been absolutely incredible. Now, even included, if you find yourself interested in any of this you see, for all Fireball Talks NASCAR-related content, make sure to scan the QR code on your screen right now and join our official Discord for race information and access to interviews and in-house productions. And that, my friends, is going to be a great place to join if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything we do here in FTN. And if you are wanting to join the eNASCAR scene, then scan the QR code on your screen right now. If you want to be on track for the next or one of the next FTN broadcasts and join one of the many leagues that we cover, please scan the QR code on your screen right now and enjoy and join the iRacing scene. Well, it's been a great one here from Daytona, folks, and it has been a wonderful night of racing. I've been your host and producer and commentator, Alexander Valdez, and I hope all of you that are watching have a wonderful night, and we'll be back in the coming days with more on FTN. Join me for sure next time this Tuesday in a couple days for Back with the Highline Racing League Culture Designs Truck Series, and then later this Thursday with now IORA at Chicagoland and with the Highline Premier Series. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning into tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, have a wonderful night.